feel like I'm walking on broken glass. Kubi made it. Kubi, I'm glad you made it. I'm gonna go get a drink and take something for my head. I'll be right there. Let me just get this on here. What am I looking for? Oh, I have to do that. Okay, so look. Wow, you guys did really good getting over here. All right, let me go get my whatever I'm going to take for my head. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. But let me go get that, and I'll be right there. Okay. All right. Okay, dokie. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so let me get back here. Okay. Is this Am I in the Right Life? Yes, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so Kubi, Tammy, GB, Element W50, Nightmare, Lisa H, John Wasaki, Marissa Cart, Bridget, Margot K, Danielle C, Kristen Veda C. Wow. That's a surprise. Hi. Muppets in Manilow, Carolyn Parrish, Joe Masaki, Carol Plant, Kubi, Debbie L., Pamela Patrick, Debbie D., Kaza, another surprise. Hello, good to see you. Renee Ruth. Hi, Renee Ruth. Let's see. Muppets in Manilow, you just took Advil PM, okay. I didn't take an 8 p.m. I've never taken a PM medicine in my life. Did you know that? Debbie D. Bridget, you just took ibuprofen as well. Over here for a headache. It's been one of those days. I just took the ibuprofen for a headache too. It has definitely been one of those days. Let's see. Bucktooth Witch. I got whispered to me, right? Yes. Chris Ree. Liz Tops. Hello there. And Liz Tops. Yeah, you were here last night. And then there's another Liz. Let's see. Oliver. Hi, Oliver. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Trying to get everybody, but let's go to the true crime headlines. We'll go over this shooting again first. This shooting in Tulsa Hospital. So we have a gunman armed with a rifle and a handgun killed 4 people at a Tulsa hospital Wednesday afternoon before killing himself. Tulsa Police Deputy Chief Eric Danglish said reports show that a 911 call came in at 4:52 p.m. and that there was an active shooter in the Natalie building of St. Francis Hospital. Officers arrived within 4 minutes, he said, and made contact with victims and the suspect at 5:01. The responding officers were drawn to the second floor by the sound of gunshots, and the scene is fairly limited to one section of that floor. Tulsa Police Department gave an update as of 7:27 p.m. 5 dead, including the shooter. Update at 6:24 p.m. was, hold on a minute, seeing what it said. They can confirm 4 casualties, including the shooter. Officers are still clearing the building. And before that, they said there was an active shooter at St. Francis. Shooters down. Please avoid the area. Please avoid St. Francis at 61st and Yale. All roads are closed. Early this afternoon, we responded to a call about a man armed with a rifle at the Natalie building at the St. Francis Hospital. This turned into an active shooter situation. At this point, we can confirm the shooter is down at this time. Officers are currently going through every room in the building, checking for additional threats. We know that there are multiple injuries and potentially multiple casualties. And there was a reunification site for family members. Okay, and we got that. Okay, so then next, let's see what else we have. Danglish said investigators have not identified the gunman, but believe they're close. He said the gunman was a man likely 35 to 40 years old. Investigators weren't yet sure if anyone was specifically targeted in the shooting. The gunman was not believed to have been wearing body armor, but was believed to have fired both weapons he carried. Okay, and then KOTV also reported that the Tulsa police had asked police in Muskogee, about 50 miles southeast of Tulsa, to investigate a home for a possible bomb. The police told the station they don't believe that there was a bomb there, but it wasn't clear if that request was connected with the shooting. Officials said law enforcement responded from multiple local agencies as well as federal agents. SWAT teams went floor to floor, office to office to clear the building, Danglish said. Witnesses are being interviewed before they're taken to a reunification center set up by a nearby Tulsa high school. St. Francis CEO Roberts and Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum asked for prayers for the victims and their families and praised the quick response of first responders. Bynum noted that St. Francis staff has been a forefront on the city's health care, especially the last 2 years of the pandemic. Police said that they would provide more information at a news conference on Thursday morning. Heavenly prayers. Now we know about Johnny Depp, right? What happened there? Those of you who missed it, get over there. Actor Johnny Depp won his defamation suit against his ex-wife Amber Heard. The jury found unanimously that Amber's published op-ed describing her as a public figure representing domestic abuse tarnished Depp's reputation and damaged his career. Amber won the second of her 3 counts in a $100 million counterclaim. The jury found that Depp's attorney, Adam Waldman, defamed Amber when he told the Daily Mail that Amber had set up Depp in a hoax when police answered a domestic call at their home in May of 2016. The jury awarded Amber $2 million. Depp was awarded $10.35 million, $10 million in compensatory damages, and $350,000 in punitive damages. I thought he had $5 million in punitive damages. Didn't it sound like it said that he had that? I thought that's what they said, but I guess it's $10 million in compensatory damages and $350,000 in punitive damages. Or was it? What did I think? Deliberations took about 13 hours. Okay. So Amber Heard said she was disappointed beyond words. Let's see what Amber said. What did Amber say? Amber Heard said she was disappointed beyond words Wednesday after learning the outcome of Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit against her. She released a statement to Variety in connection with the jury's findings that she defamed her former husband, Johnny Depp. Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million. See, here's where it says $5 million in punitive damages. Oh, the judge reduced the punitive damages to $350,000 in accordance with Virginia's statutory cap. Okay, all right. I knew that it did say $5 million initially. The jury, however, also ruled in Amber's favor in her countersuit against Johnny Depp and awarded her $2 million in compensatory damages. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. She wrote in a statement, "I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to this disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I'm sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly." Yes, okay. Depp sued Heard for $50 million over the Post article and Heard countersued for $100 million. Jurors have listened for 6 grueling weeks to testimony ranging from psychologists to chauffeurs to former romantic and business partners. Both Johnny and Amber sat on the stand for several days each. Accusing the other of abuse in their brief marriage, which ended almost as quickly as it started. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Okay. So let's see. What else do we have? An Ohio couple was arrested on Monday for allegedly helping their daughter abuse her 13-year-old stepson, who was extremely underweight. The Hamilton County prosecutors say that Armin and Susan Rodriguez, 70 and 67, were also aware of ongoing abuse and allowed it to continue. The boy was reportedly forced to stand for days on end and was not allowed to use the bathroom. He was deprived of food and clothing. Amy Dangle, where have I heard that name before? 45, who is the couple's daughter and the victim's stepmother, was charged in February with abusing the boy from 2018 through April 2021. Her husband and the boy's father, Anthony Dangle, are accused of allowing Amy to abuse his son. Anthony Dangle is accused of allowing Amy to abuse his son. Why was she abusing the son? And Anthony is how old? 51, did I just say? Court documents did not detail what the grandparents specifically did to the victim. The boy's biological mother died in January of 2016, and he and his youngest brother lived with Anthony and Amy Dangle. It's not clear whether the younger boy was abused as well. In addition to being extremely underweight, prosecutors said the boy suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Amy Dangle is charged with child endangerment, while Anthony Dangle was charged with violating his duty of care. The couple both worked at the Miami Township Fire Department in Hamilton County as emergency medical technicians. Can you believe that? EMTs. Amy worked there until December 2019, well before her arrest. Anthony was placed on unpaid administrative leave following his arrest, and the city council voted in March to fire him. Armin and Susan Rodriguez are also charged with child endangerment, and they're due back in court on June 3rd. An Arkansas man has been charged with negligent homicide after allegedly running over a woman who jumped from his truck early Monday evening. A Washington County Sheriff's Office report says that Nathan Shear, 25, was driving a 3500 Dodge Ram in Springfield when Mia Worthy reportedly jumped from the truck. She was run over by the rear tires and pronounced dead on the scene. Deputies who responded to the call noted a strong smell of alcohol coming from Shear, so they gave him a field sobriety test. He was taken into custody and back to the Washington County Detention Center, where his blood alcohol concentration was 0.18 above the state's 0.08 limit. Investigators have not said why Worthy jumped from the vehicle, how fast Shear was traveling, or any other information about the case. According to Shear's Facebook page, he was in a relationship with Worthy. Shear was released from jail on Wednesday after posting a $25,000 bond. That's great. Okay, let's see what this is. A North Carolina man who won $10 million on a scratch-off ticket in 2017 was sentenced on Friday to life in prison for fatally shooting his girlfriend years later. In July 2020, Michael Todd Hill killed Keona Graham, 23, at the Shore Stay Hotel in Charlotte. Graham was reported missing before she was found deceased in the hotel room with a gunshot wound to the back of her head. Didn't we talk about this one time? I'm sure we did. Graham was lying in the hotel bed when Hill shot her. Surveillance footage showed Hill being the only person with Graham in the hotel room at the time of the murder. Hill and Graham had been in a relationship for more than a year. Hill eventually confessed to killing Graham because she was texting other men while in the hotel room. Reports indicate that Hill was working for a power plant when he won the lottery. A jury convicted Hill of first-degree murder in possession of a firearm by a felon. The gun possession sentence will run concurrently with the life sentence for Graham's first-degree murder. Hill is not eligible for parole. Queens man, a 35-year-old Queens man, was found dead in his apartment Tuesday evening, stabbed so many times that his intestines were outside his body. Police determined the death was a homicide and said an autopsy would confirm the cause of death. Worried family members asked for a welfare check on the man when they hadn't heard from him. Officers entered the apartment and found the victim dead with multiple stab wounds to the torso. They have not yet released his name. Wow. Pennsylvania authorities are searching for an East Petersburg girl who hasn't been seen in several days. Police say that Taya Roberson, 15, was last seen in East Petersburg borough area on May 28th. It's unclear what clothing she was last wearing or what time she disappeared. Northern Lancaster County Regional Police Department asked anyone with tips or any information about anyone unlawfully harboring the juvenile to contact authorities immediately. If seen, call 911, or if you have tips to Taya's whereabouts, submit a tip through you can go to www.nlcrpd.org. She's found. Okay, police in Georgia are searching for a Gordon County man who hasn't been seen or heard from after dropping his father off at the airport. 53-year-old Ernest Harold Hill was last seen Saturday driving from Calhoun to the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. His vehicle was found and towed at the airport Saturday. It's unclear if his father, who was supposed to board a plane to Arkansas, made it to his destination. Anyone with information on Hill's whereabouts is urged to contact SFC Azar at 706-879-5469 or the Gordon County 911 Center at 706-629-0911. Florida officials believe a man who was found dead at a park on Tuesday was attacked by an alligator. Largo police say a 47-year-old man who has not been publicly identified may have been retrieving frisbees from the water at John S. Taylor Park when he was fatally mauled. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission said a trapper who responded to Taylor Lake is in the process of removing an alligator to determine if it was involved in the fatal incident. Signs at the park discourage citizens from swimming in the lake or venturing near the lake's edge. It is currently alligator mating season, which may explain Tuesday's deadly attack, as alligators are typically more violent at this time of year. Officials say the victim's family is being notified. see here. Okay. Okay, the Uvalde school police chief is not responding to Texas Rangers' request for an interview. State police spokesman Travis Considine also said Tuesday that the teacher who propped a door open at the school, which Salvador Ramos used to get inside, did close the door, but it didn't lock. Texas State Police said Tuesday that the teacher who propped open a door at Robb Elementary School last week closed it again when she realized a shooter was on campus, but the door didn't lock, allowing Salvador Ramos to enter the building. Ramos fired into the classroom windows as he walked around the building and then went into the same door the teacher had just closed. He entered a fourth-grade classroom where he killed 19 children and 2 teachers. 17 people were wounded. While the information cleared the unnamed teacher of wrongdoing, the outside door was supposed to be shut and locked at all times and should have locked when she closed it. State police said that the Uvalde School District police chief is not responding to requests for a follow-up interview. After a report from ABC that both the school police and the Uvalde Police Department had stopped cooperating with state officials, Department of Public Safety spokesperson Travis Considine told the Statesman reporter Tony Flotsky that the 2 departments have been cooperating with investigators, but the school district police chief, Pete Arredondo, has not responded to a request for a follow-up interview with the Texas Rangers that was made 2 days ago. The initial report pegged the lack of cooperation on DPS Chief Steve McGraw's comments on Friday that Arredondo was the incident commander of this response who made the wrong decision when he kept officers from storming the classroom where Ramos was. Arredondo determined that the situation had morphed from an active shooter incident for which protocols require an immediate and forceful response to a barricaded suspect situation which would allow officers to wait for more personnel and equipment. They waited as many as 19 officers inside the school for nearly 90 minutes before a Border Patrol tactical team entered and killed Ramos. It was at the same Friday news conference that McGraw said a teacher had propped open a back door into the school, allowing Ramos to enter. But on Tuesday, DPS Communications Chief Travis Considine said that the review of the new video evidence showed that the teacher had moved the rock she used to prop open the door and pulled the door closed when she realized there was a shooter on the campus. Considine said the teacher propped the back door open and stepped inside, but saw Ramos crash his grandmother's truck into a ditch and ran back inside to grab her cell phone and call 911. She stepped outside, but she ran back inside when she saw him crash the truck. She came back out while on her phone. She heard someone yell, "He has a gun." She saw him jump the fence and that he had a gun. So she ran back inside, kicking the rock away as she did. We did verify she closed the door. The door did not lock. We know that much now, and investigators are looking into why it did not lock. Okay. 6 people in Ohio have been indicted on aggravated murder and conspiracy charges in the death of a woman they were allegedly using as ransom to get information about her boyfriend. Hakeem Ali Shomo, 21, Portia Williams, 31, Destiny Henderson, 18, Nathaniel Polk, 32, Anthony Bryant, 19, and Brittany Smith were previously indicted on murder and kidnapping charges in the death of Alicia Pointer on November 4th of 2021. They now face charges of aggravated murder, conspiracy, kidnapping, and felonious assault. According to the indictment, the six believed Pointer's boyfriend killed Aminjaz Shomo, Hakeem Ali Shomo's brother, on November 2nd. They lured Pointer out of her home and to their car, and they drove her to Williams' house, where they kept her for several hours. They wrapped her face in clear tape and threatened to use a syringe of some chemical to get her to reveal her boyfriend's location. Shomo put a pistol in her mouth and posted a photo of it on social media in hopes of getting her boyfriend to tell where he was. Shomo left the house at that point, and Henderson and Smith and Williams and Bryan drove her to an abandoned house where they continued to torture her. After about 20 hours, Williams, Bryan, and Henderson pointed guns at Pointer and fired. Henderson's gun misfired, but Williams and Bryan shot her. The four of them left and drove to Shomo's house. Pointer's body was found on November 9th. Horrible. Florida woman was criminally charged for an altercation on Monday that reportedly led to her 10-year-old daughter fatally shooting a woman. Orlando police said LaShun Rogers, 41, and Lucretia Isaac, 31, were fighting when Isaac gave her daughter a bag that contained a gun. The girl retrieved the gun and fired 2 rounds, mortally wounding Rogers. It was not immediately known what led to the deadly altercation or how Rogers or Isaac knew one another. Isaac was charged with manslaughter, culpable negligence, child neglect, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and aggravated assault with a firearm. Her daughter has not been charged at this point, but the state's attorney's office is reviewing the case. The Florida Department of Children and Families reportedly has custody of Isaac's 10-year-old daughter. Wonderful. They still haven't identified that little boy found in the suitcase. They said he died from an electrolyte imbalance due to viral gastroenteritis caused by excess vomiting and diarrhea. The man who shot then President Ronald Reagan in 1981 is no longer a danger to himself or others and will be granted an unconditional release from court oversight this month. Federal judge ruled on Wednesday. John Hinckley Jr. has lived in Virginia since 2016 when he was given permission to live with his mother full-time after several years of being allowed visits to his parents' home. His mother died in 2021 and he has since moved out of her home. He has been required to attend therapy sessions, barred from speaking with any media, and has a limited area in which he could travel. U.S. District Court Judge Paul L. Friedman issued an order in September releasing Hinckley from his remaining restrictions, but delayed the order's effective date until June 15th. At Wednesday's hearing, Friedman determined that Hinckley, 67 years old, has passed every test. I am confident that Mr. Hinckley will do well in the years remaining to him. It took us a long time to get here. This is the time to let John Hinckley move on with his life, so we will. Hinckley was not in court for the hearing. Attorneys for Hinckley and the government fought for years over his release. But Friedman noted that all of the attorneys were now in agreement. The Reagan Foundation, however, is not in agreement. The Reagan Foundation and the Institute is both saddened and concerned that John Hinckley Jr. will soon be unconditionally released and intends to pursue a music career for profit. We strongly oppose his release into society where he apparently seeks to make a profit from his infamy. The AP said that Hinckley has supported himself selling items at an antique mall and selling books online. He also promotes his music on YouTube and Twitter and plans to release a 14-CD song. The jury found Hinckley not guilty of shooting Reagan by reason of insanity, and he spent more than 2 decades confined to a mental hospital. His motive for shooting Reagan was his obsession with the movie Taxi Driver and one of its stars, Jodie Foster. The main character in the film, played by Robert De Niro, tries to kill a presidential candidate. Reagan, a Secret Service agent, and a Washington, D.C. police officer recovered from their wounds. Reagan's press secretary, James Brady, was partially paralyzed in the shooting and later lobbied, along with his wife, Sarah Baker, for stricter gun safety control laws. The Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, known as the Brady Bill, was named for him. The White House press briefing room was also renamed in his honor. Brady died in 2014. Sorry. All right. Where am I? Okay. Hi, Jenny D1, Debbie D, W, Karen H, Doodly Doo. Hi, Lydia G. Too much crime, right? Yeah, too much crime. Buffalo are mating too? Really? A woman was killed by them? Deborah follows, what is that, Connell? Hello to Scooter, Nana T, Heart Made Wise. I think it might be behind a bit. Oh, you might be behind a bit. Okay, so Sassy Darcy says, I remember. I think I did too. Yes, I do. I was in elementary school. Okay. I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. It's been quite a day. It's just been a ridiculous day. And, gosh. What is with my hair? It's like the humidity is making it crazy. Okay. But I'm going to go to bed and I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully things will be better tomorrow. All right. Everybody take care. I don't know what else to do. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm just exhausted. I'm really not tired like that. I'm just mentally exhausted. But hi, Gail B. All right. I'm gonna go. Good night. Hi, good night, whisper to me. Good night, Daniel C. Good night. Good night, good night, good night. What am I doing in this?